Wake up. Join in as we continue our series on the millionaires in the book of Genesis. Man, the information, the revelation, and the knowledge that you have shared that you're learning during this phase of our millionaire secrets have just been amazing. So thank you guys for tuning in. And as you tune in, let me know what type of business you have, where you're tuning in from. My name is Kathy McReynolds, and I am the founder of Bible Business Academy. What we do is we help you build a business with biblical principles. So we're super excited to share this information to you tonight. We're coming from Genesis 28:13. I am the Lord, the God of Abraham, your father. The land on which you lie, I will give to you and your offspring. So we'll dive further into that as we get in. But guys, as you get started, I'm going to do the same thing. Do me a favor. Go ahead and let's hit that share button and let's get this out to some people so that we can help them out as well. And also, let me know where you are tuning in from and what type of business do you have, or what type of business do you want to have. Let me know, like, what do you want to have, what idea, or what are you working on, and how's it going? Like, if you can put that in the comments while we share this out to a few people, I would greatly appreciate it. You never know who's tuning in, and they also will benefit from that from you, from you as well. I gotta act like I've been here before, because I always seem to do that. So I'm going to share it to a page, and then we are going to get started. What are you excited about today, this Thursday? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see a few things in the chat. Before I go into the presentation, let me see who is tuning in, where you're tuning in from, and we'll go ahead and catch those now. Let's see. I got one more. Where are you sharing it at? Let me know where you're sharing it to as well. We're going to have an exciting night, y'all. You definitely want to be a part of this. Okay, let me go ahead and get share to page story. Oh, share to your story. Let's go ahead and share that over to our story so we can get started. All right, y'all. We're ready to get this party started. We're going to talk about the persistent millionaire Jacob. And we got, let's see. Before I jump over there, hey, Miss Sharon Walker from Cleveland, you're an insurance agent. Awesome. We have that in common. I've been licensed for 25 years, even though I don't do it a lot, and also an investment advisor. So congratulations on that. All right, let's see. And she said that she wants to help other African Americans create generational wealth. Well, you are definitely in the right place to get that done. So awesome. Who else do we have on here? We got Mr. Levester Johnson. What's up, Mr. Levester? He has Carlot and several other businesses. I know Levester does a lot, y'all. So definitely reach out to him. He has a Carlot auto. He does what else he does investing. So he got a lot of stuff going on. And I know also they have a benefit from cancer. He has a great testimony of how God healed him from cancer. So you definitely want to go ahead and check that out. So I'm going to head back over here and we're going to get started. I will check the rest of your, let's see, we want to go to caption. I will check the rest of the messages as we move on into this. At the end, remember, I cannot see them now, but we definitely will get to them. And I just realized that I didn't hit the share button. So let me go ahead and add, let me go ahead and share the screen where our presentation is. All right, we got the share. I'm gonna hide that now, and let me just go back over here for 1 second, y'all. And thank you for your patience, for bearing with me here. And let's put that like that, and switch it over. Switch it back. You see how you could do this? This is why I love about this. Let's go ahead. Well, I guess I'll move it back up like this. All right, y'all. We're ready to start. I promise you, we're going to get this started. I promise you, it's going to be worth the wait. So, we're going to talk about the persistent millionaire Jacob. So, if you have not seen the other episodes, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and check those out. And I'm telling you, if you want to have God help you build your business, these videos, these workshops that we do every single Thursday for you live will help you out in getting that done. And you can learn so much. Every time I do one, I'm like, man, that was good. Man, I really love what I just learned from that. So we want you to do the same thing. See, there are many lessons that we can learn from studying the life of Jacob in the book of Genesis. So these are 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself. And if you have a pen and paper handy and your favorite beverage, I want you to make sure you take some notes. But as you go through this, ask yourself this question: how has God created you to be unique? What is your superpower, as we say? What did God give you as that superpower? And you can always drop that in the comments and let us know. And how does God shape you through your challenges? Everybody has faced different challenges, and I want to know, how has God shaped you through those challenges, and how will God use your life to give to others, Sharon just shared with us, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, what she wants to do and what her goal is. But how is God using you so that you can give and help to each other? See, when we're looking at Jacob's journey, along his journey, Jacob received a special revelation from God, and God promised Jacob lands and numerous offspring that were proved to be the blessing of the entire earth. And Jacob named the place where he received his vision Bethel, which means the house of God. So we want you to be able to learn from what he learns. We're also going to talk about Jacob's problem because of his prosperity, and why the prospering power of release come first. We're going to talk about the prospering power of getting definite, of dwelling upon substance, and also why you're dead, why you're whatever you sow and you reap, why you have to take care of that, like why that comes back to you in a good or positive, or in a bad or positive way, depending on how you sow to reap, and how picturing can make you rich, as well as how to make a comeback after a tragedy, and how to claim your freedom from experience you have outgrown. And remember this: first comes release, then comes vast improvements. And so as we dive into this, we're also going to be sharing with you how you can release worn out things, relationships, and all of that in conditions, and bring in happy new experiences, and how all these inner successes must be balanced with outer results. And at the height, guys, of his wealth, Jacob gave thanks. And we're going to share with you why you want to do that as well, and how others has prospered from Jacob's Thanksgiving method. That was his method. That was his superpower. And you can learn. That's towards the end. You'll be able to learn that. And how Jacob last year was spent amid vast wealth. It's pretty exciting, and I'm excited to share this with you. See, Jacob's success covenant was how to make one his overall success philosophy, and what it means to you and your business. This is what you can learn from him. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you how you can get a great gift sent right directly to your home. I had someone else say to me, oh my gosh, well, they said, wow, I didn't realize, they were like shocked that they got so much in their goodie box. And we're going to show you how you can do that, along with some training that we want to send directly to your home, guys, and why it's important for you to grow in your faith and finances the right way. And this leads to more fun, freedom, and fulfillment. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here for a reason. God sent you exactly. He knows exactly where you're supposed to be, like exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. Give you a little short story of my background. I am from Akron, Ohio. I always joke and say I grew up shy and sheltered and in church. basically 6 days a week. My mom was a Mr. Dad, a football coach. I left home at 19, lived in the DC area, Baltimore, Boston, and Pittsburgh. I know we got someone on here from Cleveland and Akron, but let me know where you are tuning in from. And at the end, because I can't see your comments now, I'll go back and take a look at that. I'm an author, international coach and trainer, have other, businesses as well. I always say I'm that introvert who loves to win. Not perfect, y'all. None of us are. Like Jesus says, the only one we call good is God, right? But I am an action taker, licensed financial advisor. I've made 6 figures and lost it in a couple of businesses. So now it's next level. And also, if you can pick up a copy of our book. I usually have it, but I'm actually in another location today. You can pick up a copy of our book, A Bible Business Secret, on Amazon, or you can order it through us and we'll ship you a free copy out at BibleBusinessSecrets.com/book and get a copy of our planner. I'm telling you, this planner will change your life, and you can grab that at believeandgrowrich.org. It is a 4-in-1 planner, and you can also pick it up on Amazon. Guys, if you need help growing your business, I'm giving you an invitation to join our membership program at BibleBusinessAcademy.membership, or you can get into one of our academies at BibleBusinessAcademy.com /academy. So each of those will help teach you in different kind of ways, depending on where you're at, how to grow your business and how to do it God's way. And that's why you're on here. And that's why we're talking about the persistent millionaire Jacob. Genesis 28:13 said, and behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie, I will give to you and to your offsprings. And guess what, y'all? You're part of that offspring. What God says, he cannot take it back because he don't lie, right? So guess what? Learn how to get what is already yours. See, Jacob, when he started out, he actually started out poor. Can anybody relate, right? And he ended up very, very rich. And he became a millionaire through persistence. This is what the historians say about him. So no matter where you're at in your journey, let me tell you, if God said it's possible for you to get to that millionaire status, you can do that. That's why we put these on, so you can learn how to do it God's way and not the world's way. I put this up here because I said, if it was up today and he was on Facebook, the status would say it's complicated, right? If you can relate to that, go ahead and put that in the comments. Jacob had often been depicted as the naughty boy of the Old Testament. So that would be the bad boys, of today, right? His bad points have been highlighted and only a few of his good ones. And so as I was reading this, it was like, you know what? When you see where he was and where he went to and what he did in his life, it should give you hope and courage that you also can do the same thing, regardless of where you're starting at. See, you can learn a lot from his road to riches. They were known and practiced in ancient time, and it is still available to you under the sun. See, success leaves clues. There's nothing new, that you have to learn. All you have to do is find a success story and emulate it. Join some academies like ours and just do what we're doing and what we show you how to do in order to get there a lot quicker. See, the road to Prince to God, Jacob was described as this cold-blooded, crafty, and deceitful person. And I hope that's not too many of us on here, but in our lifetime, I'm sure that we've had moments, at least I have, right, that you're not too proud of and you wish you can have a do-over. So if you have some of those and you've done that, you're okay. You're in in good company, just like Jacob. He controlled his feelings and was patient in his disappointment. See, that's the key right there. I always tell people, get out your feelings. Get out your feelings when you're running a business. Now, that's coming from someone, I'm a very emotional person, and, and my heart and all of that is always in it. But when it comes to business, I don't know, I just become this different person. I guess it's like, Beyonce on stage, she become Sasha Fierce, and I become God Fierce when I'm doing business. He was smart, and he turned to God for guidance during challenges and experiences. And that could be the difference right there, because I'm constantly talking to God and saying, okay, so what should we do? How should we do this? I listen to Jesse Duplantis, and he always say, hey, God, come with me while I do this. It could be something as simple as buying a car or buying your supplies. Are you inviting God to join you, to be with you, to partner with you, to be your co-CEO as you build your business? If not, that's something that you can start doing right now. Just say, God, I need you to be with me as we build this business, as we make these decisions, as we recruit these people, as we, whatever it is that you're doing, don't do it without talking to him first. And just like I'm having this conversation with you, it's the same way that you can talk to him. I used to wonder, like, well, how does this really work? It ain't complicated. Too many people complicate it. It's just like you're sitting having a conversation with your best friend. You just talking to God, right? And let me tell you, I have never heard an audible voice, but inside, the answers always come. He always provides them for you. As soon as I said that, I got like chills. So his presence. And he says, my sheep know my voice. See, Jacob gradually learned how to use his mind power for good. And this transformation helped him to create extraordinary success. And part of that mind power, when God says, meditate on my word day and night and be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that's how you do it, by always relating to him. And if I had my planner with me, is actually in the car in my suitcase right now, I would have pulled it out and showed you just go to believeandgrowrich.org and make sure you pick up a copy of that, because we've set it up where that's the first thing that you can do every single morning. See, God finally renamed Jacob Israel, which meant Prince of the God, on his road to riches. So you got to be transformed by renewing your mind. You don't get transformed by starting a new business or growing your business. You get transformed by transforming your mind. It's so important. And just like Jacob, most entrepreneurs use their mind powers and human experience to try to force things, to try to do things their way. And how do I know? Because I've been there before. See, if you're a newbie to business, most people try to hustle, manipulate, force. And we used to say, beast mode, right? Beast mode their way to success. But you don't need to do any of that stuff. The best way to win big is to use your mind power in a constructive way, just as Jacob did, so you can grow in success. And he had many bitter struggles, but he prevailed and he won out. And so can you. You just got to keep going on. I'm telling you, I've been about almost 30 years in this game of being an entrepreneur. Only 1 year, 2008, when I lost everything, and I didn't have that renewed mind. Then I went to work for the bank as a financial advisor for about a year and a couple months. And then I realized, I'm not built for this. This is not my calling. I can't do this. And so over almost the last 30 years, I've worked for myself. I've, been self-employed. And so no matter whether you're 30 years in the game or you're just getting started out, you can make it happen. When you think of some of the great businesses who put in a lot of years as an entrepreneur, like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, KFC, all of those people got started in their 50s and 60s. So some of you who are on here and you're up in age, let me tell you, you're at the right season. When you look in the Bible and you look at, the people who created success, that's where they were. Nowadays, for the youth, here's the beauty of it. You got 16, 14, and 18-year-olds making millions of dollars from online marketing, and also 60, 70, 80-year-olds doing the same thing. So and in that gamut, no matter where you're at, if you're willing to transform your thinking and to put in the work, you can change your life and make success happen. See, Jacob's problem began because of his wealth. And a lot of people this happens to, right? So when I share these next slides here, I want you to say, okay, I'm on the track there. So how can I avoid this? And when you look, Jacob's problems began when he stole his brother's birthright. Like when they were twins inside the womb and they're fighting, right? Which included that's that prosperity blessing that he also took. So before, like, God said, I knew you before you were either in your mother's womb. Like when they were in there was conflict going on. So he showed up into this world in trouble. And so Jacob then tricks Isaac. And I thought that this was important because I want you guys to know this from a biblical standpoint. So I'm going to read Genesis 27, 1 through 24, so that you have an idea as we go through the rest of this, where it all began at. It says, Isaac grew old and his eyes became so weak that he could not see clearly. One day he called his older son Esau to him and said, son. And Esau answered, here I am. Isaac said, I am old. Maybe I will die soon. So take your bow and arrows and go hunting. Kill an animal for me to eat. Prepare the food that I love and bring it to me, and I will eat it. Then I will bless you before I die. So Esau went hunting. Rebekah, who was the mother, was listening when Isaac told this to his son Esau. Rebekah said to her son Jacob, listen, I heard your father talking to your brother Esau. Your father said, kill an animal for me to eat, prepare the food for me, and I will eat it. Then with the Lord as witness, I will bless you before I die. So listen, son, and do what I tell you. Go out to our goats and bring me 2 young ones. I will prepare them the way your father loves them. Then you will carry the food to your father, and he will bless you before you die. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. So his mama, y'all, is telling him to tell a lie to his daddy so he can get the blessing because that was her favorite child, right? Like, the Bible got some, they got some drama in there, right? But Jacob told his mother, Rebekah, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm not hairy like him, and my father touches me. He will know that I'm not Esau. Then he will not bless me. He will curse me because I tried to trick him. So Rebekah said to him, I will accept the blame if there is trouble. Do what I said. Go get the goats for me. So Jacob went out and he got 2 goats and brought them to his mother. His mother cooked the goats in a special way that Isaac loved. Then Rebekah took the clothes that her older son Esau loved to wear. She put the clothes on the younger son Jacob, and then she took the skins of the goat, put them on Jacob's hand and on his neck. Then she got the food she had cooked and gave it to Jacob. I mean, like, I'm just saying, the deceit that just went on there, and the lesson you should take from there, when anybody try to tell you to do something, manipulative, sneaky, and all of that stuff, just say no. It is not worth it. You are already promised wealth and riches. You just got to know how to get what God already gave you. It's just kind of like if you had a child and you promised them, that you'll buy them a car when they become 16. So you already knew, and you have everything set aside to buy them a car. You just need them to go through the process. That's what God is saying to us. He already provided for you. You don't have to trick anyone. You don't have to listen to trickery, because there's some trickery stuff right here. So Jacob went to his father and said, Father. His father answered, yes, son, who are you? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your first son. I have done what you told me. Now sit up and eat the meat from the animals that I hunted for you. Then you can bless me. But Isaac said to his son, see, he knew something was up. How have you hunted and killed the animals so quickly? Jacob answered, because the Lord your God allowed me to find the animals quickly. Like, man, sometimes people will do and say anything to create success. Don't be like that. Jacob went to his father and said, Father. His father answered, Yes, son, who are you? And he said, I am Esau. Oh, wait a minute. I'm reading the same thing over again. So then Isaac said to Jacob, Come near me so that I can feel you, my son. If I can feel you, I will know if you are really my son Esau. So Jacob went to Isaac. Jacob went to Isaac's father's. Isaac felt him and said, Your voice sounds like Jacob's voice, but your arms are hairy like the arms of Esau. Isaac did not know it was Jacob because his arms were hairy like Esau. So Isaac blessed Jacob. The first deceit that we have here, right? So Isaac said, Are you really my son Esau? Because it wasn't feeling right. And he said, Yes, I am. And then Isaac said, Well, bring me the food. I will eat it and I will bless you. So Jacob gave him the food and he ate it. Then Jacob gave him some wine and he drank it. And then Isaac said to him, Son, come near and kiss me. So Jacob went to his father and he kissed him. And when Isaac smelled him, you see, he did the smell test, right? When Isaac smelled Esau's clothes, he blessed him and said, My son smells like the field the Lord has blessed. See, that was his favorite son because he was like that brute, that brawn, that athlete, and his dad favored him. So when you have children, when you have, family, like don't favor one because, or the other, if you have employees and stuff like that, because stuff like this starts to happen, right? And he said, May God give you plenty of rain, good crops and wine. May the nations serve you and many people bow down to you. You will rule over your brothers. Your mother's sons will bow down to you and obey you. Whoever curses you will be cursed. Whoever blesses you will be blessed. And so this was the blessing for Jacob that shouldn't have been for him. And see, when you look at Esau's blessing, Isaac finished blessing Jacob. Then and this is Genesis 27:30-4, just as Isaac finished blessing him, then just as Jacob left his father's Esau came in from hunting, and Esau prepared the food in a special way that his father loved. See, he's still out doing his stuff, thinking that he's doing what he's supposed to do. And he brought it into his father and said, Father, I'm your son. Get up and eat the meat from the animals that I killed from you. Then you can bless me. But Isaac said, Who are you? He answered, I'm your son, your first son, Esau. Then Isaac became so upset that he began to shake. I mean, like, can you imagine that moment right there when you know that your own child just tricked you, right? He said, Then who was it that cooked and brought me food before they came? I ate it all and I blessed him. Now it's too late to take back my blessing. When Esau heard what is his father's word, he became very angry and bitter. See how one mistake that somebody made makes somebody else angry and bitter. And he cried out and said to his father, Then bless me also, Father. And Isaac said, Your brother has tricked me. He came and he took your blessing. Esau said, His name is Jacob. This is the right name for him. He has tricked me twice. He took my rights as the firstborn son, like he took his rights then, and now he has taken away my blessings. And Esau said, Have you saved any blessings from me? Like, man, why do I have to keep getting taken advantage of? Have any of you guys felt like that in business? Have you felt like that in life, that everything you do, it seems like somebody is coming out there to take advantage of you? If you have, you are not alone. You already know how the story is. I'm just going to walk you through the process and how you can use it in your life. Isaac answered, I have already given Jacob the power to rule over you. And I said, all his brothers will be his servants. And I've given him the blessing for much grain and wine. There is nothing left to give you, my son. And Isaac answered, I've already given Jacob the power to rule over you and his servants. And so then when you skip down to 38, it says, But Esau continued to beg his father, Do you have only one blessing, Father? Like, can you only give one out? Bless me also, Father. Esau began to cry. Like literally cry. Then Esau said to him, you will not live on good land. You will not have much rain. You will have to fight to live, and you will be a slave to your brother. But when you fight to be free, you will break from his control. So what you want to learn from that, guys, is you don't have to fight, lie, cheat, or steal, because wealth is part of your birthright. So if people are telling you that and you're seeing trickery and like slick stuff happening, or you're doing it, stop it, right? See, you got to let go so you can grow. Also, if you've been through something like that, where you've had somebody in your life, in your business, that have done you wrong, or even in your family that has done you wrong, if you've had that, just learn to let it go, and let Esau and Jacob's example of, as I share this with you, let this be an example of how your life can turn around as well. So if this is making sense to you, and if this is reflecting to you where you're like, man, okay, now this, yeah, I can do this, I'm holding on to this, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know your thoughts of what I just read. See, Jacob was still in a human consciousness of prosperity, where he thought he had to fight. Every time I see the word fight, I think of Oprah in The Color Purple. All my life I had to fight, right? Where he had to fight for his good, to cheat and to scheme for his actions has caused him so many problems with his family that he had to leave the scene of the crime. He had to be out of there. Has your actions and what you've done caused you problems with your family, with your business partners, with your community, with your neighborhood? If it has, guys, God is so forgiving that he will forgive you. His father forgave him before he left home. See, just like his dad forgave him, your family will forgive you. And even if they don't forgive you today, it will come, because that's the way God will pull it all together. Isaac even bestowed a prosperity blessing upon his erring son, one fit for a millionaire. When Jacob persisted in becoming, God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful, and give thee the blessing of Abraham, that thou mayest inherit the land of thy sojourners, which God gave unto Abraham. See, and that's in Genesis 28:3-4. So when you learn to let go, you will begin to grow. And the first wealth principle that you can learn from Jacob is to use the release of mistakes. Learn how to let go of your mistakes and forgiveness. Stop looking back, right? Stop looking back at, I made this mistake, I didn't do that right. You got to learn. If you are saying that and you can't let that go, that's blocking your blessings. So you got to learn how to release that. He releases mistakes by leaving home and going elsewhere to try again, after his father generously forgave him and even bestowed a prosperity blessing upon him. See, like Jacob, if you've erred, instead of hanging on to those mistakes, release them. You cannot build a business looking back, right? You can make a fresh start every single day. When you wake up, you get to decide what your intentions are for that day, what you want to get accomplished. You can't change the past. You can't control the future. The only thing that you have control over is the right now. So right now, when you get started in the day that God gave you, make sure you make the right decisions from this point forward. And you can do this. Here's a little, I call them faithformations that you could use. The forgiving love of the universe has set me free from all mistakes of the past and the present. The forgiving love of God has set me free from all mistakes of the past and present. I face the future wise, free, and unafraid. That's an affirmation that you can use. That's your first wealth principle. Just like Jacob, you may have expected your success to come to you in one set of circumstances, only to find it elsewhere. It's something you never even thought about, but it came across your path and you're like, oh, okay. But it can only happen after you release those former circumstances, after you let go of the past. See, all of that stuff is keeping you non-productive. You got to go to becoming productive, and then that's where your breakthrough lies. Your breakthrough only comes after you gain release of a non-productive activity. So get a pen and paper and write down everything that you feel you need to release, and then you can have a releasing party. You can take that paper, you can take a lighter, and you can burn it up, you can let it go, you can ball it up, you can throw it in the trash can, whatever you need to do to get that junk out of you, to get those negative thoughts out of you, so that you can become who you were born to be, so that you can get your inheritance. Those are the things that you want to do. And let me tell you, because I've been there before, guys, that like when you finally let go of bitterness, angry, and all of that stuff that's holding you back, God will open up the floodgates for you, and things will start to come in, because now you're, instead of trusting in people, you're trusting in him. Is that making sense? Let me know in the comments your take on that. That was the first wealth principle. Here's your second wealth principle that you can learn from Jacob. See, after he released his former surroundings and his former mistakes, Jacob started out to Haran to work for his uncle. En route, he used another success principle when he made a success covenant with God. So that was his second one. He made a success covenant with God. See, this act indicated that he was not only sorry for his mistakes, but that he wanted God's help in his new ventures. And I talked a little bit about that up front, like invite God into your life, invite God into your business, invite him into everything that you're doing. Even if, you're writing, you're putting together a presentation, you're going to see a client, you're studying something, just ask him, hey, God, put me in this. Let me know what to do, who you want me to help. Like, just start talking to him in his success covenant. The other thing that Jacob did, he got definite about what he wanted to experience in life. See, we call that your CCMP. You have to have a clear, concise mental picture of the life and the business that you desire. It can't be fuzzy or it has to be exact, from the color of the car that you want, of how you want your business to look, what you're going to have. And it's, it will change and it will evolve, but you know exactly what you're going after. It's kind of like if you're building a business, building, and you need an architect. That architect is going to take the dream that's in your head and they're going to put it on paper, so then it can be built. So you are the architect of your life, of your future, of what your business. And so you got to learn to put what you desire down on paper and be specific in the details, so that you can then go get that built. See, he proved that it pays to get definite, because when you're definite and you tell God what you want, God granted that to him, it far more than he had even asked for. He just said, let me know what you want. If you serve me, if you seek me first, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart. And see, that's where the prospering power of dwelling upon your substance, that's where that comes in at. See, after making his success covenant, Jacob journeyed to Panorama, I think that's how you say that, in the land of Haran to work for his uncle. And the word panorama symbolized the unlimited substance of the universe, which is the source of all wealth. And we know back in the Bible times, like, words matter. Your name, like I always say, you're fighting for the name on the back of your jersey. Your name matter, words matter. They all meant something when you gave them to somebody. So that's what that means. It also symbolized the mind power that is necessary to manifest that substance as visible results. So this is like, you need mind power. You need to think a certain way in order to create success. Everybody thinks it's always about the doing. No, it starts right here. You got to sit down, take some time, write stuff out, visualize stuff, see things. And whenever you do that, the inner source, when you get your inner together, your outer will manifest and you will be able to see that. See, unlike Jacob, most people don't persist mentally. They don't work on their mindset. They don't sit down and take the time to meditate on what they need to do to write out. And that's one of the things in our Believe and Grow Rich Planner, that you got plenty of space to be able to do that. And we would direct you on doing that. Or if you join one of our academies, it's even better yet, because we're going to walk you through step by step how to make that happen, and how, most importantly, to change your life so that you can get what you want. So you got to meditate on God, and not just in your life, but in your business situation and everything that you do. When you look at the word here, it means uplifted. See, Jacob got into an exalted state of mind by meditating on God as the source of his supply when he was in the land of Haran. So I want you to really, really get that part, because that's the whole key right there. You have to make a decisive decision. This is what you're going to do. See, the ancient people, they knew about the power of thinking. When you think it, you can achieve it. And this is what draws things to you, right? It's going to bring it to you. And like Jacob, when you first start doing this, you may be struggling. You may be in tough situations. You may be in trying times. When you're there, meditate on God's word. This is when you really, really, really get deep into the word and start meditating on it. And then you will begin to grow your reality, right? Makes sense? So important, guys. I hope you got that. Let me know in the comments what you got out of just that last session. Like, what was your aha moment? Because now I'm going to talk to you about a sowing disorder that must be treated before you are able to create wealth. Like, you gotta get rid of this disorder if you want to change your life. And what a sowing disorder is the patterns in your life that are being repeated, and they're typically bad patterns or unresolved issues in your life. You ever met somebody and they're still going through something that happened in childhood, or they're still going through something, 10, 20, 30, 40 years later? How do you know they're still going through it? Because they're still talking about it, or they're still reliving that bad business experience. How do you know they're still going through it? Because they're still talking about it. See, you can only have one thought at one time, and whatever you focus on will grow. And so if you're constantly talking about all the bad breaks that you had, all the people who cheated you, all the things that you went through, that's where you will stay. You will not be able to grow. See, that is what. So if you find yourself constantly always struggling with money, or sabotaging your relationships, or avoiding responsibilities in your life, stop. Take that paper and write down a list of everything that you're feeling, what you're going through, and make today the day that you are burning that up, leaving it, knowing that Jesus died for us and on the cross. Leave it on the cross, right? And get rid of it. Ball it up, go throw it away, flush it down the toilet. I don't care what you do with it. Just get rid of it so you can go get what you need. In Galatians 6:7, do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, they will also reap. So if you sow good, you're going to reap good. If you sow bad, you're going to reap bad. And so after Jacob, follow this story, right? Because Jacob is about to sow what he reaped. Even after, he's apologized. Even after he's forgiven. Even after he started writing down and picturing all the stuff that he wanted and made, and even after he moved to another area, right? Even after his father forgave him and he forgave himself. But look what happened. After he began to work for his uncle in the land of Haran, the first thing that happened was a surprise. He reaped an unhappy result. So he probably, like a lot of us, is like, okay, I forgave myself. I threw that paper away. Kathy said, burn it up. I burned it up. She said, flush it. I flushed it. She said, throw it away and put it in the hoop in the trash can. And I did that. But yet still, this happened. I'm not prospering. I'm not successful. And if you're not, guess what? It's okay. You are just reaping what you sowed. And so you got to go through that. So when his uncle had asked, this is how Jacob, this is what happened to him, right? When his uncle had asked, what shall thy wages be? In Genesis 29:15, the financial agreement had been, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Genesis 29:18, he said, and he did. So he said he did what he said he was going to do, right? Yet he was deceived by him finding himself married to Leah, the eldest daughter. So they snuck Leah in there instead of Rachel. And then guess what he had to do? He had to work for 7 more years. So the law of reaping and sowing is always going to work for your previous actions. And you don't know how long you're going to have to go through that phase of sowing and reaping. And it's okay, however long you have to go through it. See, Jacob had cheated in the past, and now he was being cheated in return. When you begin to develop this wealth consciousness, right? Often you may clear up all of those sowing disorders that we talk about, all that negative stuff that we talk about that you did in the past. And you're like, yes, free. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last, right? But no, you still got struggles. You still have to go through this stuff. But when you're going through this stuff, and even if it seems unfair at that moment, because we're talking 14 years later, right? He had long forgot about that stuff. We're talking 14 years later for him, but he still had to pay the price. And when they seem unfair, they never are. You're just paying the price for something that you done. We've all been there, right? You're paying the price for the past, either from something earlier in your life or earlier in your business. So and I want you to really, really hear me on this, because see, some people get in this phase of their wealth creation and they quit because they feel like it ain't working and it's not worth it. No, you're just going through some stuff that you need to go through, and you can have that conversation with God. All right, God, what am I sowing and I'm reaping? And 9 times out of 10, you already know what it is. So just write it down and be like, okay, I did this, so here's the lesson I got to learn. It's just like if you go to prison, you got to learn, they give you your time, and maybe after you get out your time, you get out, and then you got a record, and now you can't even do what you need to do because of that. And it seems like everything is holding you down. But guys, that's not your source. You just had to go through that sore time, but it's not your source. So when you meet with disappointments, when you meet with setbacks and challenges and experiences, look at it constructively. Look at your past and also ask God, what lessons do he need you to learn before he's going to give you your birthright? Did you hear that part? Before he's going to give you your birthright, because he said he will give it to you. It's your inheritance. He promised you that. So when you're going through this stuff, be like, okay, God, this is not working. So what do you need me to learn? What lesson? How do I need to grow? When you start talking like that, instead of, oh my God, I can't believe it's always happening to me. Everything goes bad for me. Oh, I'm always like, stop that. That talk will keep you where you're at. You will end up like a lot of people who go to their grave not realizing their dreams because they haven't transformed themselves. They haven't renewed their mind. They haven't found out what God wants for them. And so they just wander through life. Now, do they end up in heaven? Absolutely. But did they get what they came to earth to get, that God said they can have? No, they missed out on it because they didn't do what he said for them to do. And this is why we're going through these series, so that we can not only help you create that wealth, so that you can enjoy life here on earth as you're going through it. If that makes sense to you, can I get an amen, thumbs up or something? in the comment section. And I can't see them right now, but I'll be back whether you're watching this during the live or replay, and we always react to it. So remember, like Jacob, you cheated someone else, or you withheld something from someone else, or you did something wrong to someone else, and the score is now being settled, because that's just how life is. So take it like a champ, y'all. Instead of whining and complaining and saying this is a terrible injustice and I've been cheated, say to yourself, I have paid for my past mistakes through this present disappointment, right? So now I meet this disappointing experience constructively, and I will now move into my wealth, into my peace. Because you're like, okay, I went through it. I had to go through it. I did what I did. So now, thank you. So I can move on. So I can go to where I know I am going and where God wants me to be. Don't waste time and energy fighting that present disappointment, talking about that present disappointment, dwelling on it, and don't let other people come to you and keep reminding you of the present disappointment. I was talking to someone and they were saying they don't like when people come to them and talk to them about their dad. And I, it was a young child. And I was just saying to them, I'm like, look, when, especially an adult, first of all, nobody should do that. Like mothers, don't say to your kid, you're going to be just like your dad. Don't ever say that to your kids, or you're going to be just like your mom if the mom wasn't right, or whatever the case is. And they didn't like that. I said, all you got to do is say to them this: listen, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't talk about my father to me, because I don't like that. And if that adult don't get it, then you can come to me and I'll go talk to them for you, right? So you got to let people know that that's not who you are. You don't gossip. You don't talk to people about people. Your goal is focused on serving God, doing the things that you need to do, building your business. And every time you let that negativity come into your life, it's just pushing you back. Y'all saw Jacob had to do 14 years out there, right? You saw Moses had to do 40 years out there. How many years do you have to do for being disobedient? Just get in the word. Know what you need to do. Take these tapes that you get here, that when we're doing these series, and just go over them over and over again until you get that aha moment and your life starts to transform around you. If you take it like a champ and you don't play the blame game, and you pay them off, because you got to pay them off, you're then free to be permanently wealthy. It will never go away. You will have it. But if you fight it, if you whine, if you moan, if you complain and you resist them, they often appear again and again and again. You ever have like, dang, here we go again, right? You ever said that? Here we go again. Same old stuff always happened to me, right? Woe is me to the world. If you have said that or you're feeling that, guys, it's because you're not taking it like a champ. And we need you to take it like a champ, right? For those unforeseen and unwanted responsibilities. See, this will hold you down to a lower state of consciousness where you will never truly create wealth. If your mind ain't right, your money will never be right. So work on getting your mind right. See, Jacob reaped what he sowed by working for 14 years to get Rachel, which was his prize. And then, you know what? Jacob got to the point, he's like, okay, God, can I get released from this? And sometimes you got to say that to God. See, Jacob later asked for a financial settlement from his uncle because he wanted to return home. Because you got to, you know how when they say enough is enough and you're fed up and you're ready to do something different, that's when you don't get angry, you go to God. That's when you don't get angry, you go to whoever you feel that's holding you down, and you start having conversation. His uncle didn't want to free him because it was making him rich. It could be like that on your job. It could be like that in your business. Whatever you're doing, you're profiting someone else, so they try to hold you back so you can keep profiting them. You got to learn to recognize this stuff. And see, Laban asked Jacob, well, what price are you willing to pay? It's like they're going to ask you, like, how about I give you a raise, right? How about I give you, an extra $2 raise to keep you here in my company so you won't go out and build your own company, right? What's your price? What's your price? What, like, does it not, like, are you going to get to the point where you're going to get released, or are you going to keep paying the price? How much can they buy you for? That's what you got to start asking yourself. See, Jacob said, I'm willing to pay the price because I'm ready to be released. So Jacob asked for all the speckled and the spotted cattle that would be born in the flock so that he could start his own herd and begin to feel financially independent. He didn't want to work for anyone else anymore. He didn't want to be underneath someone else when he knew he was born to lead. You ever feel that feeling that you were born to lead? When I told you guys that 1 year out of the last like 27, 28 years that I worked for someone, I remember waking up one day, I was like, I can't do this. I wasn't born to be here taking orders from everyone. And that's not like everybody, your lot is not, everybody's lot is not an entrepreneur. If you're watching this and you got it to this part, then that is part of who you are. But are you exercising your right to be who you were born to be, who God said he wanted you to be? Are you doing those things, or are you holding on? Is that job, or is that doing it part-time and all of that stuff keeping you back? See, Laban agreed to give him all the future spotted cattle that were born out of his own herd. So that could be your boss agreeing to give you a raise so that they can trick you into staying and keep making them wealthy, right? So that you won't get your blessings. However, it became so apparent that Laban had no intentions of sharing his flock with Jacob, though Jacob had made him rich. What has been like staring you right in your face, slapping you right in your face, so intentional, and you have not accepted it yet? You got to accept it. You have to look at your current situation and be like, all right, I'm going to be decisive. I'm going to have a clear, concise mental picture of what I want, and then I'm going to take action today. Today, you're going to move today. I remember, I think I was 32, 33 years old when I started my first business. But however, my dad, when I was 19, leaving home, going to Ohio, he like prophesized in me. I'm just thinking about this right now because he said to me, baby, go out in life. And he said, figure out a way to work for yourself. Never give your life to a company for 40 years like I did. Work for yourself or get into politics. I'm like, definitely not politics. But when he said it, I didn't listen. It took me 12 years to finally listen to what he said. And that was like a couple years after his death. I remembered those words, go out and figure out a way to work for yourself. So that, and I can still see him when he was sharing that, what he wanted out of my life, like he was blessing me to say, go out and do this. This is what you're going to do and what I see for your life. And the moment, like my first business opportunity that came amongst my path, I think I was like, I don't know, remember over 60,000 or something like that. And in 4 months of finding that, never being in business, I went in and I quit. I made that decision that I'm going for it or not. So I like drew a line in the sand, and I'm not telling you to go out and quit your job and doing that, any of that stuff. But what I'm saying to you, as long as you're holding on to something, as long as you have no intention, you know that the person or the company that you have, it has no intention, or your partners that you have, or the people that you would have no intentions of sharing in their flock or giving you what that you're asking for, then it's time to move on. It's time to like, okay, God, let's go. What do you need me to do? Instead, Laban secretly, see, here's what he did. He ordered like spotted female animals removed from the flock, leaving the plain ones, assuming that they will reproduce plain cattle. But guess what, y'all? Jacob used the picture power and in the mind And to keep him from being cheated on his good, Jacob used that picture power just the same way that Abraham did when he got prosperity and he had been cheated out of a lot of the land. See, instead of getting angry, start seeing what you want. Instead of getting angry, start seeing what God promised you. See, Jacob took that fresh popular rods and peeled some white streaks in them, and then he placed those streak rods around the watering troughs where they had the herds can see, and they brought forth ring streaked speckled calves. See, Jacob proved that you can picture your desire and have it quietly come to you, regardless of what others are saying or what others are doing, because can't nobody block the blessing that God has for you. And then Jacob, he increased. So you see here, he increased his uncle flock first. So when you're in situations like that, I remember when I went in and I gave them my notice before I left, I said to them, I'm leaving. They have been good to me. And I said, I will stay, and I will stay an extra month because I was supposed to leave in 90 days. I gave them that extra month, and I will train my replacement for you. And so I trained them for that company, when I left there, because I always believe in, and just like Jacob did, you make things better because you had showed up. Whatever you do, make it better, not worse. He reminded his uncle, thou hast little before I came, it has increased into a multitude, and the Lord has blessed thee since my coming. See, just because you're around, just because of who you are meant to help, to bless other people, and to give some. Don't, even if you're still working for someone, you're doing something, don't do your business on their time. Don't do things like, because that's holding you back. You want to give it your all and make sure people are better off because you showed up in their life. Don't fight for what's already yours. You don't have, like, if you own some land, it's yours. You ain't got to fight for it. Picture it. When your dreams and goals are being withheld from you, instead of fighting, arguing, or trying to reason with anyone to make it come to pass, just picture the desired results that you want. Jacob proved it. You can image your goods and bring it through rather than trying to reason it through. Stop trying to reason it through. Stop trying to talk it through. You can hasten your goods through picturing it. That means you can get it faster. You can make it happen faster. Just like, man, it all just kind of happened before you even think about it. You got it. Imaging was a well-known success technique among the ancient people, and the wealth Jacob acquired through the picturing power is described in Genesis 30:43. It said, and the man grew exceedingly rich, and exceedingly, like they put the word exceedingly, not just a little rich, but exceedingly rich, and had much cattle, maidservants, manservants, camels, and asses. And that's in Genesis 30:43. And I didn't cuss, that's right there in the Bible. And y'all see that, right? So here's how you want to make that happen. Just create a success map. Some people call it a vision board. You can write it down. You create that success map. You can have pictures of it. You can put pictures on your cell phone. You can put them around your house, in your bathroom, on your kitchen, like everywhere around you. Create a success map and picture the financial success that you desire. And at the top of that success map, you can place your faith affirmations, and then you can meditate on them day and night. See, divine substance can't be withheld from you. And all that means is your wealth can't be withheld from you. Divine substance cannot be taken from me now. I picture my way to prosperity, and my abundant God quickly manifest now. Soon afterwards, soon as you start picturing things, you will begin to see them. I'm pulling up my phone here. Let me go. So like in my notes, if you can see here, like here are my affirmations and what I say and all of that stuff. And then when you get down to the bottom of it, I got pictures this is like creating the success map on my phone. So you can have that on your phone, you can have it in person, but I just go through this with my scriptures and my faith formations every single day. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but they're all there in the pictures, and all of that stuff is right underneath. So that's what I mean by when I say put what you want, your affirmations, your scriptures, and then have visual pictures of exactly what your life and your business is going to look like. Does that make sense? Create a success map in the comment section, because that's how to claim your freedom from your experiences that you outgrown, which is the next subject that we're going to talk about. See, Laban and his son became so jealous of Jacob's wealth, and Jacob decided to leave the country and return home, even though Laban did not want to release him. They're going to have no choice. But people will become jealous of you. People will start hating on you. And that's okay, guys. Give them something to hate about, right? Jacob had to claim his freedom by just leaving anyway. See, sometimes you got to pick up from where you're at and you got to go to somewhere new. You gotta just like remove yourself from where you've been. And we're going to talk more about that in a second. See, when you have learned all you can from an experience, after you have demonstrated prosperity in it and after it, you have helped others to achieve satisfactory result, you will probably outgrow that experience. I remember when I first decided to come online and start training people in online marketing, everyone kept telling me you should teach people in the financial, like financial advisors or insurance agent. Why? Because I had did that for 20 something years at that point, and we built number one agents and agencies all around in different states in the United States, and we were very good at that. And they kept saying, well, you should do that, you should do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I didn't even know that like this was that principle at that time, but I had outgrown that. I'm still licensed. It's something that I do if someone comes to me and say, do you want to do this? But it was something that I had outgrown that experience. I was ready for something new, something in a whole different level. And so when you are feeling that way, don't keep holding on to something just because you've done it for a long time, just because you were born into it. You don't have to keep holding on to that. If you want to release that experience so that you got to release that in order to go to where God wants you to go. I never in a million years thought that I would be teaching biblical principles on building the business. Like, this thought never even crossed my mind. I had zero idea that this is where I was leading to. When I say zilch, none, right? But guess what? It kept coming to me. I got obedient with it. I start writing it down. I start picturing it. I got excited about it. And I just went for it, right? And ups and downs, absolutely, because that's the way it's supposed to happen in business. But you got to say to yourself, my success cannot be limited. So I am now free to the next step in my progress, growth, and success. As your success is progressive, y'all. Success keeps moving. There's always a new level. See, when you reach certain stages in your growth, others around you may become hostile to your success. Just like with Jacob, like often, like you'll find yourself in that situation where you have completed one phase of your life, and then it's time to go to the next one because you're growing, and everybody wants to keep you back where they think you should be, and then you've outgrown that new experience that you just experienced, and you're ready to move on to something new. See, it's always progressing. Where you're going and what's happening is all based on how you can transform your mind. So if you're feeling restrained, if you're feeling people interfering like in your growth, in your success, here's an affirmation that you can say and declare: my success is progressive. I now go from success to greater success quickly and in peace, because God said that he will give you wealth without painful toil. So if you're not in peace with what you're doing, go to God, because that'll let you know that you're operating by yourself. You're not with him, because with him you have peace. And I don't know what I did with my water. Hold up, guys. Let me grab this water real quick. All right. I needed that water. I've been talking something. While I'm on this water break, let me know your thoughts, what you're getting out of this, because I needed this water. All right. I gotta stop screaming. And the divine dissatisfaction arising at such a good time, because it gives you the incentive needed to dare to launch forward in new and untried experiences elsewhere. Don't be afraid. God got you. He will be with you. Like Pharaoh, when he was hard in his heart, when the Israelites wanted to leave Egypt and the bondage and the old conditions and the experience, they will be hardened against you when you have outgrown them, and that's okay. And it may feel uncomfortable, it may feel unhostile. Just do it anyway. Next, it will dry up completely, like my throat right here. And although you may seem startled by it, it has a purpose. Maybe me needing this water, it has a purpose. I needed to slow down, right? It all has a purpose. They help you to release that which you have outgrown and to freely go to something better. So if you want to grow to something better, let me know. Like, put better, hashtag better in the comments. Your good is expanding. Your success is expanding. You're experiencing labor pains of birth into something better. So those of you who've had kids, you know you got to go through some pain in order to get that baby out, right? Same thing with business. You got to sometimes go through some pain to get that baby. And then once you get through it and you go to it with God, all that pain gets removed and you handle challenges differently because you're in peace now. So pray for God's guidance and response to any sense of divine dissatisfaction growing within you. So if you're feeling that, just go to God. Because you're being called, instead of looking at it in a negative sense, you're being called to a greater purpose when you're starting to feel uncomfortable. It's next level season for you. And so you can screenshot this, or you can rewind it, pause it, stop it, and watch and write this down. Here's some faith affirmations that you can use to help in your transition. And here's one you can say, like, just put them on your phone, text them to yourself. Put them out in posts. If you guys follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook in our groups, I'm constantly putting out posts. A lot of those are for me, right? To help me out. And they also help you. It said, God comforts me in all tribulations. This is from 2 Corinthians 3:4. Blessed be the God and the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all tribulations, that we may be able to comfort those who are in trouble with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. So God comforts me in all tribulations. See, I call them faith affirmations, because affirmations are something that people make up. When you use a scripture and you make it a faith affirmation, this is what God says. I bet on God anytime. Another one is, God makes me strong. Can you imagine saying that all day long? God makes me strong, right? You, like, just even saying that, you feel good, you feel energetic. Psalms 138:3 says, in the day when I cried out, you answered me and you made me bold with strength in my soul. And so when you declare that God makes you strong, guess what's going to happen? God's going to make you strong. God will make my dreams come true. Psalms 37:4, like, Write that on your bathroom mirror. Write that around, on your vision board. Put that in your phone. God will make my dreams come true. And here's your reference for it. Psalms 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. How can you go wrong with that one? Guys, use faith affirmations to transition. See, first comes release. You got to release something. And then after that, you're going to get vast improvements. See, after Jacob left his uncle on his way on his way home, Jacob sent his family and his possessions while he stayed behind at the ford of the Jabbok. I don't know how you pronounce that one. There he wrestled with an angel until the breaking of day, or the breaking forth the good in the situation. Maybe you got to go through that moment. I don't know what you got to go through, but you got to go through something in order to get to where you need to be at. And every forward step in your business is an evolution. Every day you wake up and you work with intention and you have God in the midst of that plan, you're moving forward. You must give up the present ideas and the possessions so that you may receive greater ones. Stop holding on to things. Stop holding on to people who are in your life that is not bringing you good things and doing the right things with you. Stop accepting that. You deserve better than that. First, Jacob had to release his uncle. He had to release his uncle. You might have to release some family members, right? As a channel his supply, you may have to release, I don't know who you what. But somebody that's just paying you, giving you with money, they're holding you, or things, or some of that stuff, you got to release that. Then he even dared to send his family and possessions ahead of him. He released everything. So like when 2008, when I left everything, I was like, I'm done. But guess what I did? When I was done, I went and I looked at another company for my source. And I did that for about 8 months mentally, until the day I woke up and was like, this ain't me. This ain't how I was born to be. So I went from losing the business to 6 months after leaving that job, the only one that I've had over almost 30 years, going over a 6-figure income in 6 months. It changed everything, because you know how I felt? If I survived losing everything and getting back even like 10 more times of what I had, then it dawned on me, it's not in what I'm doing, it's what's in me. It's the God in me that's helping me to become who he wanted me to be. And so your faith grows. Your level of like, I got this no matter what comes at you, grows, because you know that God will be there with you, and you have proof of it, that what he's done for you. And it gives you that superpower to go out there and accomplish and conquer all things. Is that making sense, y'all? See, when you make major changes you may have to release something. If you want to do something big, something that's way bigger than you may have to let everything go. Man, the plans that I have on here, there's no way that I can get them accomplished unless God is in the mix of it. What's keeping you connected with a past cycle of your income, of your possessions, of your people, or your places? You got to ask yourself that question. What's holding you back? What's blocking all the stuff that's in front of you, because you keep holding on to those size 4 pants that you ain't getting back into, right? Like this, like I'm saying that because these are the kind of things that you got to think about and just let them go. They got tags on them, give them away. And I'm laughing because to my sister-in-law, I just like here, go shopping in my closet, get whatever you want. There's a lot of stuff with tags on it. Take it. Like, I've been holding on to it long enough. You can take it and you can have it, right? And it felt good to give. right? That's how you have to do. You have to give stuff away. It shows your faith in God and not in the income, not in the possessions, not in the people, or not in the places. Jacob wrestled with his angels, symbolized his own doubts and his fears. See, that's what that was about. It was just like him coming to terms with himself, that like you wrestle with yourself and you got doubts and you got fears. And if you just let your higher self out and you release it, if you let the God within you out and you release it, it like that inner struggle will go away. And the entrepreneur who desires to have his business and his wealth expanded, you need to do that by releasing stuff and being disciplined. And as you gain your emotional perspective of that, that discipline will open up many doors that you never thought were possible to open. It will expand your business, it will expand your wealth, and it will help you to grow. So if you're feeling weary, it's time to release your present employment, your business, your friendship, your living conditions, your possessions, your pleasant stuff that you thought was pleasant. Through, even though like it feel like it's right, you gotta let it go, because you know deep down inside it's not right. And it's time to create some new circumstances. So you got to pack your bag up and you got to move on, y'all. It's time for a total new environment if you want to experience a happier way of life. If you want to experience a great business, you can't, what do they call the definition of insanity? When you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. See, when you release everything, you might view it as it like, you know, people like, is she crazy? Is he crazy? They giving up that, they leaving that good job. You ever heard that saying, right? They leaving that good job, or they're moving out of that neighborhood, that good neighborhood. Yes, you are, because it's not your final destination. You have other places that you can go. You were thankful while you were there. You're grateful for what you had, but you feel that way because God has so much more out there for you. So when you deliberately release all your possessions and you get connected with the cycle that is ending, whether those possessions are worn out or not, they don't have to be worn out. You can still fit them, or the business could still be profitable, but something is not sitting right with you. The city could still be great, but something is not sitting right with you. It's time to move on to a brand new home where you can get it uniquely furnished, where you can get it built from the ground up with all new household effects, like from your towels to your sheets to your pans to your appliances to whatever you want. It's time to release out worn things, worn relationships and conditions, and bring happy new experiences into your life. So if that's you, put release, hashtag release in the comments. And I got some release faith affirmations for you. It says, my steps are established by God. Psalms 4:40. Verse 2, he also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of a miry clay, and he set my feet upon a rock and established my steps. God wants me to prosper in all things. See, this is a faith affirmation that's coming from 3 John 1 and 2. This is like one of my favorites. 3 John 1 and 2. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prosper. It said, I pray that you may prosper in all things, not just some things. It didn't say some things, it said all things, just as your soul prospers. I will enjoy the good in my life. That's from Ecclesiastes 3:12 and 13. I know that nothing is better for them to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat, drink, and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is a gift from God. You want to accept that gift from God? And make that your affirmation. I will enjoy the good in my life, because that's a gift from God. It's a gift from God. See how inner success must be balanced in your life in order for you to enjoy these outer results. And that's what I'm going to share with you. When Jacob started home, when he started going back, he began to make peace with his brother Esau by sending him gifts ahead. So if you done something wrong to someone, send them a box of edibles or flour. I don't know, just like send them a gift, something that's going to make them smile, something that will put a smile on their face, or say some kind words or whatever you need to do. And Jacob said, take, I pray thee my gift, because God hath dealt graciously with me. And so he's letting him know where he's coming from, right? And that's in Genesis 33 and 11. Esau did not need these gifts, right? He didn't need it because he had already became wealthy in his own right. He was a hunter. So he was out on the hunt making things happen. And he had also received a minor inheritance from what was promised to him. Not much is said about even his success because he had acquired it through strictly human methods by hard work and the sweat of the brow consciousness. But guess what? Esau had earlier, y'all remember when I said he had threatened to kill his brother? He's like, he done took my birthright. Now he done took my blessings, and then I'll kill him if he ever returned. He let that go. So when you think that person that you've hurt or you've done wrong to is still holding on to something, it's not. They done long forgot about that, and you should too. And so because he had also mentally grown, he graciously accepted that advanced gift from his brother. And after mildly protesting, I have enough, my brother, Genesis in Genesis 33 and 9, they were harmoniously reunited. So he's like, listen, even though I have it all, I'm still going to take it. Even though they have it all, or you think they have it all, and you're like, well, what can I get the person who have it all? Get them something, send some edibles, send some food, send something they like. Jacob knew that willingness. See, that's what it's about, is that willingness to make peace with a former enemy was necessary for success. He knew that he couldn't get success without that happen. So who do you need to make peace with? Who do you need to let go of? Let it go so that you can move on. True success is both mental and physical. See, Jacob symbolized mind power. His twin brother Esau symbolized the physical side of life. So people often work hard mentally, as Jacob had to achieve success, but there comes a time when their mind powers must be reunited with the physical side of life in order to balance them out and create success. We always say, if you can dream about it, picture it, but if you don't get up, because he said faith without works is dead. That's the works could be a little different type of works. You meditating on the word day and night, you making some phone calls, you calling some people, you putting up your website, you doing your marketing, or you hiring someone to do it. Like these are the actions. Like God is not a genie that you could just say, okay, I want this business, I want this thing, and then you go like, okay, give it all to me, that he's going to give it all to you like that. No, you got to go do some of the stuff. You just ain't going to have no pain or sorrow as you're going through it. True success is both mental and physical. Esau, physical; Jacob, mental. That's what you have to remember. And then you got to say, you need each of those. And how are you balancing that in your life? And once you get those two together, then your life will begin to change. So when I say seek a balance and blessed life, it's from the mental and the physical. That's what we're talking about, because a lot of people are like, the balanced life stuff that people talk about. This is how God explains it. And so this is how we're explaining it to you. You want to be happy and you want to experience life blessings on a mental plane with God as your only source. Did y'all get that? He is your only source, not your customers, not your vendors, not your job. God is your only source. You need to recognize when the time has come and your soul is growing. You got let me tell y'all, over these last 3 years ago, I was like, well, how do you pray? Like, what you supposed to really do? I mean, I grew up where my mama was a minister, but you hear so many different things and God begins to reveal it to you. It's just like, Shorty, just talk to me. Just have conversations with me. and get in his word. Once you get in there, like I was reading something today, I'm like, man, God is just so awesome. He's just so amazing. And people just don't know and don't get it because the world has made it so complicated. It ain't complicated. It's so easy. If you love, peace, happiness, and wealth, you'll love God because that's what he's all about, right? And health as well. Know when you have earned the right to experience the best of everything on the visible plane of life, and insist that you have, like, your home should even be comfortable. Don't get too busy to enjoy your home and your family. When you're writing in our planner, you pre-plan your day, you pre-plan your life. My family knows when my day off is, in my time off, or when we're going on vacation. I completely shut down all my business and everything, and it's just focus on them and what we need to do. See, you have to insist that you have such a blessing. You have to insist that you have the best clothes, the best jewelry, the automobiles, private club membership, travel occasionally, just not for business, but for pleasure. And people are like, well, it's not about the thing. It's not. Trust me, it's not about the things. If you guys heard me last week, I talked about when we used to make phone calls, and before we got on the phone, we would make sure we were dressed. We would put on our high heel shoes. We made sure we smelled good, look good. Why? Because it made us feel better in the inside. And that's just when your surroundings are beautiful. And we talked about that last week. It makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And then can you imagine getting to heaven and you're like, well, God, I don't really need those gold streets. I don't know why you have them there. Like, what? He wants you to have the best of everything. We need to have the best of everything. So it's time. So at first, y'all, you may feel that these upgrades would be nice, but they're not really essential to your busy life, to what you are and who you are, but just go do them. Just go live that life. Last week, we talked about having a dream for a day. So go back and listen to that if you haven't heard that, so you can learn how to do that. That'll explain how to do all of that. And just keep insisting that you're going to enjoy life. Keep saying those affirmations that you're going to enhance your lifestyle, that you're going to realize all your blessings, that you're going to get everything that, like, you got to be like, I'm coming for everything that God has for me, and go out and make that happen because you deserve it. He wants you to have that, because when you're having that and you're realizing that where it came from, because it was all through your faith formations, through you reading the word, to you doing what God told you to do, that activates your soul growth. You start to grow. And when your soul grows, it's mental. That's where Jacob was. So when you join that soul growth with your, like, the Esau side of, like, the physical part, you just begin to enjoy life. Things just begin to happen without you, like, making it happen. You're doing stuff, but it don't even seem like work. When people are like, you're always doing, like, it don't seem like work, so I can do it forever because I love what I do. Fall in love with the process. That's what we're saying to you. And these experiences, y'all, will bring you multiple blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings with the success in your life. And that's what you want to see. Some of them you didn't even anticipate. You didn't even know what's coming to you. But guess what? It did. And your success will multiply. See, just as Esau and Jacob were twins, so the mental and physical phase of them being twins and their twin powers, it was first demanding, like each of them had to grow individually. And then when they came together in that harmonious union, they started even making more progress. That's like, sometimes you might need to separate from people, and they gotta, because you can't get somebody else's soul to grow. You can tell them stuff, but they gotta go out and do the work and make that happen. And then when you get to the height of your wealth, just like Jacob did, which is also a success principle, you want to give thanks. After his reunion, when he sat down in his homeland, he secured his land, pitched his tent, did what he was going to do. He then erected an altar, because that's what they did back then, right? and he gave a thanks offering, and that thanks offering was for everything that God like gave him. So today you can give tithes for God, what God has given you. He did that because he was in for appreciation, like thank you God. Like without, like when you look at my goals, I have in there what my tithing is going to be based off the income that I said I'm going to make. And you know that just the tithe that will give you an appreciation for your wealth and that divine protection that you won't lose it. And all that he had asked for in the earlier years in his success covenant and his, and his vision board, or wherever you want to call it, all of that came to him, his guidance, his protection, in a satisfying way of life, a large household, vast wealth, reconciliation with his family. He got everything and more than what he even asked God for. He'll do that for you as well. Are you willing to do the stuff that he said for you to do? That's why we're sharing these stories with you. He wisely felt that his time had come to give thanks publicly. He'll let you know when your time had come. So I'm going to share with you how you can create that wealth from Jacob's Thanksgiving method. Grow your wealth by a consistent act of tithing. That's a way to grow your wealth. You can also give a thanks offering in gratitude. You can give a first fruit offering once a year or for every new blessing that you receive. And then when you do that, y'all, you're going to gain a greater understanding of the act of tithing, of the thank offering, the first fruit. Go like study these things. I don't have this, like here could be another hour and a half of just us going over this and what all of this means. So go study on this stuff and you'll know how it is meant to protect your business. You can also do almsgiving. Unlike the other three that I just mentioned a few seconds ago, those are given to God, but your alms those are for humankind. That's your compassion and your sympathy that will lead you to helping people less fortunate and needy than you. But see, here's the key. The Bible says that you should give alms in secret so you can protect the dignity of those who are in crisis. Many people are helping others, but they on social media bragging about it. They taking pictures of somebody homeless out there. Hey, I fed the homeless today. Like, do you think that maybe that person don't want to be posted? And see, when you do that, you've already gotten your blessing because you blessed it out your mouth. But when you keep quiet about that, it says in Matthew 6:4 said that your giving may be in secret, then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So that's another way to increase your wealth. That, like, if you give to the poor, you help people, that's not to be publicized. That's not a post, right? Now, when you profit, you can post a profit, you can talk about your business growth. That's completely different. But when you're giving and you're serving and you're giving to the poor, stop telling people about all that. That's blocking your blessing. I don't know if you know that, but it is. Let me know if you're aware of that. See, Jacob later years were spent amid vast wealth because he did all that stuff that we just talked about. After his son Joseph became a billionaire, so his son, like he became a millionaire, his son became a billionaire, right? As prime minister of Egypt, Jacob went there to live amidst his vast wealth. And you always want the next generation to do better than you, right? And then you can still leave an inheritance for your children's children. For many years, he enjoyed this tremendous prestige as the father of the popular Joseph. So think about that. He went from swindling his brother, his family, his dad, and people to ending his life like this. Isn't that a way to go out, y'all? If you're going to go out on top, go out with the best. And when you persist towards success through the constructive use of your mind power, like Jacob, your present success will finally supplant and replace all your failures. Everything that you did will be forgiven and forgotten by not only you, but the people around you as well. They can't even bring it up because of where you are now. Life and business will become so rewarding and so satisfying Just keep persisting in your success and a wealthy life by declaring often, life now forgives me for all past mistakes. Life now becomes rewarding and satisfying for me, and I am grateful. That comes from Psalms 147 and 3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up all of their wounds. So remember, guys, as we close out here, and I close out every week this week, Deuteronomy 8:18. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto his fathers, as it is to this day. So you can join us as we discuss each week in the first quarter of 2022 all of the millionaires and billionaires, which we'll be talking about next week, and the first woman millionaires in the Bible. So we got 2 more weeks of this for the millionaires in the book of Genesis. And next week, y'all, we're going to talk about the first billionaire, Joseph. So make sure you join us. I hope you guys got value out of this. I'm going to invite you to come and join our academy or our membership program, where we dive deep into not only what we talk about, but we help you with your marketing, your advertising, setting your business up from A to Z. So some people come in, they know absolutely nothing. Some people are already in business and they want to go to that next level. That's what our membership or our academy is all about, and we want you to join. No matter what you do, take action. Get that mind and that physical side working. When you do that, I'm telling you, I'm proud of you. God's going to be proud of you. If you do it with us, we're going to be there with you to walk you through no matter what path you take. I meet with my sales team Monday through Thursday, every single day, and we're just helping people to grow. They're helping each other. They're growing. And those are the things that you need to do in order to make things happen. Remember, I said I'm going to send you all a gift. And I don't know what's going to be in your box, y'all, but you're going to get some goodies when you join our membership or academy. So if you got questions, I'm going to head over there now. You can also call or text us at 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ or send me an email at info@kathymcreynolds.com. But listen, if you want to shorten your learning curve, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on my 20, 30, 40s of thousands of dollars learning marketing and advertising and doing something different over these last 4 years than I had ever done before. I didn't want to go to a university to do it. I wanted to go to someone who was doing what I wanted to do in order to make that happen. That's what these classes are about. That's what these academies are about. So if you're ready for that next level, you can join us at the next one. Now I'm going to hop over here and see if we got any questions. And I see something in the chats here. So let me see what's over here. We got the ones from earlier. And let's see. Be like a servant. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon said, perfect pronunciation. Listen, I'll mess up a word in a minute. And she ordered the planner. Yep, they are coming. All right. We got, hey, Welby. Welby has a book out. Let me go ahead and put Welby up here. Welby says, how you doing? But he has a book out that he wrote, so you guys get with him and make sure that you get that book. Jay Jones said, I'm so torn with the Jacob and Esau story. I see a bigger significance in this lesson. Awesome. Let us know what you saw in that so we can see what you saw and you can help someone else. And Sharon said, create a success map. And it depends on, Sharon, on your book as well, or your planner, if you're still on here or you're listening to this in the end, every single Monday, we give you an update when they come in, because when we're ordering the author's copies and we're giving those away from free, they take a little longer than when you're ordering them through Amazon. So it's usually about a month out, but every Monday we update that. So make sure you take a look at that. And I don't think I see anything else on here, guys. So, but if you're catching it during the replay, I will definitely make sure that I come back and answer any questions that you have. And so, guys, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com, BibleBusinessAcademy.com, how to grow a business with biblical principles. We'll get that in for it. Down you'll have immediate access to that. You can also go to believeandgrowrich.org and order your planner, or you can get it from Amazon. You'll always get everything quicker through Amazon, but when they send it to us, they take a little longer to get it to us. And then the last thing that I want to share with you guys, get a copy of our book. If you want it for free and you don't mind the wait, you can order it at BibleBusinessAcademy.com/book. I think that's all we have on here. If anyone else has anything, I know we're on a little delay. You can go ahead and put that on there. And thank you for your patience with me. I'm actually in Virginia doing my live from the bathroom of my niece's house. I have a niece who's about to have a baby, so you got to do what you got to do when you got to do it. All right, y'all. So y'all have a great day, and we shall talk to you later. Bye-bye.